In Dating Jesus, a story of fundamentalism, feminism, and an American girl, the author Susan Campbell talks about the fundamentalism of her childhood, of the stories and songs and ways that comforted her and then began to harm her, of beliefs that didn't serve her well from her fundamentalist tradition. She speaks of the fundamentalism of her youth as a sword that had stabbed her and then broken off, that she had healed around, mostly, but that occasionally, when she moved wrong or heard something that reminded her, would stab her. A word, a prayer, a song, just waiting around the corner to disturb a wounded place, not fully healed. Maybe our wounds are not quite so dramatic, but I think that many of us come to this place with words or ideas that have stabbed us, that we have healed around imperfectly. And all is well until the preacher says one of those words. You go, must you? Different words for all of us, but they keep us from moving freely with our spirits. When we know that we have a tender, unhealed place, we have a couple of choices. We can stay as still as possible in the hopes not to jostle it. And that is an important strategy to protect ourselves from those things that may harm us, but it is limiting. Or we could just get used to being stabbed. Just ouch, 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 which some of us have to do every day. Or we can see what we can do to maybe grind down those edges. See what we can do to make words and ideas, hymns, hurt a little less. And I would really like it if the way that we healed from things that harmed us was by ignoring them. That would be my preference. I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to talk to those people, and I'm not going to think those thoughts, and eventually it will be fine. It hasn't worked yet, but that has not stopped me from trying. I think we have to engage with the things that hurt us. I think we have to look at them and take a little bit of control away from them. Because the things we don't want to think about, the things we don't want to hear, loom large in our imaginations. If there's something we're trying not to think about, then we're spending an awful lot of time being like, nope, nope, no, you stay down there. So from time to time, in this sanctuary where I hope you have faith we're not trying to stab you, we will talk about some of the words that make us a little uncomfortable, because I think it's worth trying not to get stabbed. And because I refuse to give those words up to people who are trying to stab other people with them. If you have some nominations for words that you dislike so much, you want to hear me talk about them for 15 minutes, send them my way. For some of us, it will be God. For some of us, it will be sanctuary. David and I are cooking up a little something about that. I bristle at mercy. So, of course, I should probably spend some time thinking about that. And today, the word that I have never met a Unitarian Universalist who likes it, we are going to talk about evangelizing. That sounds fun. Anyone want to duck out, pretending to have to pee before I talk anymore? 10 years ago, I was at the beginning of a week-long job interview which is a thing that they do to Unitarian Universalist ministers, which is cruel. 9 days of meetings. And on day 1, someone asked me a question about what I hope to bring to the ministry of the congregation, and I said, I'm going to teach y'all how to evangelize. And everyone looked at me as though I had said, and then we're going to dance naked under the moonlight, which genuinely I think they would have preferred. And throughout those 9 days of interviews, the thing I heard the most about was that word. Not what I meant about it, not anything else, not the sermons, not the stories, not the experience, that word. And I had, maybe you'll recognize this formation from people who want to tell you something, but they don't really want to have to tell you. People would come up to me and say, I, of course, understood what you were trying to say. Others might have been offended. Others might not understand where you were coming from. And I said, well, conveniently, I don't take anonymous feedback, so they can talk to me. That worked out eventually. I touched this nerve of like, no. That word hurts people. And I wanted to protest. I wanted to retreat to the theory of religious experience rather than the practice of it, which is what preachers do when we want you to do something but don't really want you to ask questions. So I would say, no, evangelize. It just means good news. I'm going to tell you the good news. We're going to tell people the good news. We have good news to share. Don't we want to do that? Yay! And they all looked at me like, no. No. Maybe it meant the good news in the 13th century when they adopted it from the Greek, but you might notice we don't live in the 13th century. And our experience of being evangelized to is not people coming and telling us good news, it's people coming and telling us there's something wrong with us, and thus we need the good news. It's not, you will be saved, it is there's something so wrong with you that you must be saved. It's not, I think you'd really like my church. It's, I think you'd really like my church, and if you don't come and like my church, you're going to hell. You can see how it's hard to hear the good part. It's good news that's predicated on a threat. It's good news that starts with there is something wrong with you, and you must be fixed. And isn't it convenient that we have the solution to fixing you? You just have to realize that you're broken first. It doesn't feel very good. And there have been parts of my life where I wanted to be like, just good news. Let's just do the good part. Ignore the rest. Good news. There's love in the universe. It's beautiful. Magic. Flowers. Great. The world doesn't feel like that right now. I think, actually, there is something wrong and something broken that the good news is responding to. The thing is that what is wrong and what is broken is not us. What is wrong and what is broken is the world. What is hard, the threat out there is not because we've done something wrong and need to be saved. It's because life can be hard. Life has always been hard, and sometimes it feels harder. Life can be hard. People feel so alone. We struggle to understand our fellow citizens. We live in a country where what was once stable feels unstable. There is a lot of bad news out there, but it is not that you didn't think correctly or love correctly or show up correctly. What is wrong is that we are human, and to be human is to get hurt and to be lonely. We desperately need good news, and I will not leave it to the people who want to pretend all of that is untrue and that everything could just be fixed if you could get right with God. That doesn't work. It's cruel, and it's not good news. But they can't have it because I won't give it to them. I want you to raise your hand if you've ever come to church and felt just a little less alone. I want you to keep it raised if you've ever come into church and felt just a little more energized for the work that is ahead of us. And we raise the other one and make a goofy motion if you have ever left here feeling a little better and a little more prepared. That's the good news. And here's the thing, it doesn't just belong to us. I feel that way when I go to a protest. I feel that way when I read my son his bedtime story. I feel that way when I sing along at a concert, when I show up at the community garden. Everything that makes me feel more connected and more alive is excellent, good news. And all of us need more of it. Times are hard, and a fight is here. We need loving and loved people. And that is what we do here. We remind you that you are loved and that you are capable of so much loving. Other people need to be reminded too. So, you have a homework assignment. I want you to talk to the people in your life who you think need a little good news. And maybe the good news is come to church with me. Not because something bad will happen to you if you don't, but because something great might happen to you if you do. Maybe it's come to church with me, but maybe it's come to the Saturday morning protest with me. Or maybe it's show up at the community garden, and maybe it's go read to kids in a school. Whatever it is that is girding you for the journey, for the path, all of us have to be on as people because we have no choice. Go tell people the good news. There is plenty that's hard in the world. People don't need help finding that. We need loving, loved people. You are not alone. I am here. I am not alone. You are here. None of us ever have to be alone. May it be so. Amen.